Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wealthy Mindset. It's yours truly, Money Making Mitch. And as usual, guys, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research. Happy Easter weekend to all of my subscribers. And what a happy Easter it was indeed. We saw the launch of Firefly. We saw the incredibly low price point that it's going to be selling at. And we know it's going to be extremely competitive because of all of the technology within. I truly believe that we're going to see a decrease in sales of the Model 3, the Tesla Model 3 as well because of this. Because personally, if I had a choice between the Firefly and a Model 3, I would choose the Firefly. It comes with an in-house artificial intelligence robot just like Nomi. This is unbelievable. For a car priced only at just over $16,000. With battery as a service, it will be a little cheaper. Well, all this is happening as Ford halts exports of the F-150 and most of their other cars. In fact, all of their other cars that they were selling in China, they halt sales to China due to the tariffs. And the Chinese said that they did not have to keep increasing tariffs once it went over 100 and some percent, because it already made most of the American products unmarketable in China. So it doesn't matter. They don't need to raise the tariffs anymore. Well, it got even worse for Ford because now a lot of their parts come from China. So with the 200 and some percent tariffs in America, Ford vehicles the price will increase dramatically here in America as well. So there's a lot of pain coming for Ford. So much for the tariffs helping with jobs. Well, while all this is happening, Emperor William Lee, the CEO, answered some questions regarding Firefly that I found to be very interesting, and I wanted to bring it to you guys. The first question was, why doesn't the Firefly adopt heat pump technology? A Firefly is and this was the answer, a Firefly is primarily targets Central, Southern, and Western Europe. Rather than Northern Europe, these regions have milder climates, the southern, the western part of Europe. He says these regions have milder climates that are more suitable for lithium iron phosphate batteries. Additionally, Firefly PTC heater delivers highly efficient heating performance in winter. From the perspective of user experience and comfort, there are no noticeable issues. Lastly, Firefly has implemented numerous measures to improve energy efficiency. Let me say that again. Firefly has implemented numerous measures through research and development. And again, we spend the most in research and development. It achieves an impressive consumption rate of just 10.9 kilowatt per 100 kilometers within its class. Taking all of this into account, there was no need to adapt a heat pump system. Another question was, why is the BAS plan scheduled to launch in August? And, I've spoken about this before, and I was even talking to Zahir that controls our Facebook group, and even Malik in Australia, and we were talking about that. Why not release Firefly? Don't worry about a lot of battery swap stations for that just yet, because it is also a chargeable car. And here's what they said. Why is the BAS plan scheduled to launch in August? The starting price of R&B, well, we all know, just US a little over $16,000 for Firefly is already very competitive. Given the current pricing and product strengths, it's attractive enough on its own. So they're going to start off with charging. They're going to have some temporary battery swap stations for them. Also for compact cars, the cost advantage of the BAS as a service model is less significant compared to larger vehicles. So that tells me it might come in with BAS like around $14,000. It's not going to be a huge significant drop, which is still incredible for a car, a $14,000 EV that will be battery swappable with superior technology within. It's unbelievable. Finally, we believe August will mark the second wave of peak demand for small vehicles. Again, finally, we believe August will mark the second wave of peak demand for small vehicles. Launching the BAS plan at that time will further encourage users to place orders. What is Firefly battery swap station plan was the next question. Battery swapping is a key concern for Firefly users during early development. A dedicated container-style battery swap station was designed specifically for Firefly. Both research and development and joint testing of these stations were completed. However, by the time of the official launch, it became clear that it would be impractical for Firefly to build a new independent swap network from scratch. So they're listening to our subscribers. They're listening to YouTubers, to bloggers, to the general public, and they realize it will cost a lot of extra cash and burn and money that we don't need to be spending. Genius. And I'm glad that they are listening to us, guys. It says, as a result, Firefly will be integrated into NIO's 5th generation battery swap network. Genius. So the 5th generation stations will hold batteries for Firefly, Onvo, and all of the main brand lineup. This is great news to hear. So we will be saving a lot of money. This is why the CEO is saying we'll be profitable in a sudden and massive manner by the end of this year. He says by early next year, NIO 5th generation swap station will support NIO, Onvo, and Firefly vehicles. In the meantime, Firefly users will receive an RMB 3,000 charging credit, roughly equivalent to 2-year worth of charging fees. So if they do subscribe to battery as a service when they buy the car, even though there are no stations, not many stations out there for them, they will get some free charging in the meantime for that battery as a service fee that they're paying. Genius again. So it says, when will Firefly enter Europe? A next great question that all of us want to know. But we know that the ongoing tariffs is there. But they are talking Europe all of a sudden because of the Trump backlash on them as well, are willing to do business with China again. So right now they are aggressively sitting at the table and talking in order to drop the tariffs in Europe and have a minimum price point, which is fine because by the time Firefly get there, they also have to factor in transportation costs. So it says, when will Firefly enter Europe? The schedule for entering Europe and other overseas markets will be announced at the Shanghai Auto Show this week. So I'm excited to hear when that's going to happen, when they will announce that. How will Firefly be priced in Europe? The price, so basically they didn't say when they're entering Europe just yet, but I'm sure it's going to be also based on the tariffs, on news on the tariffs. It says, how will Firefly be priced in Europe? The price of 149,000 yuan announced last year only applies to the Chinese market. The European market price has not been officially announced yet, so there is no concept of a European pricing guideline at present. For example, there is a significant difference between regions with and without tariffs. Currently, there is no clear pricing relationship among European countries. The BYD Dolphin is priced at 30,000 euros in Europe. That's to give you an example. But it's way cheaper in China. And a lot of it, again, due to the tariffs and transportation costs. Therefore, European customers would not expect an unrealistic price drop. This is related to tariffs and shipping costs. But again, like I said, the tariffs is going to soon be negotiated. And then it wouldn't cost a whole lot more. This is related to tariffs and shipping costs. We will set a very reasonable and competitive price. Firefly currently has a generational advantage in Europe. Yes, a lot of the Europeans are going to love this EV. The overseas market will have one price and one policy per country. So it's going to be based on per country, based on tariffs. Not a single model in Europe. We can follow a direct sales model like NIO in China. For example, in Norway, we can use 1 or 2 NIO houses or NIO spaces. The Netherlands will be similar. In other countries, we will adopt a more flexible model such as a general agency. So they will be selling it at other dealerships and stuff like that. So it's very exciting. We're not going to be building a lot of like NIO spaces just for Firefly, but they're going to adopt a model where they have dealership. They spoke about that since last year. where these dealerships will buy them probably wholesale from us. They will also take up a lot of the cost of the battery swap stations. Perhaps each dealership will have a battery swap station that they will pay us to build out, further decreasing our what some people call cash burn. So I hope you guys found this video yet again to be informational, inspirational, motivational on a Easter Sunday. If so, guys, please do not forget to hit that thumbs up. It takes a lot of time to do these videos and the editing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because we're waking up the middle class for the first time to get a major piece of the pie from the ground level up as to how the game is played on Wall Street. And like 50 said, we get rich or we die trying, guys.